What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to break down some of my all-time favorite exercises that I still routinely use to practice time, phrasing, and to a slightly lesser degree, coordination. The main objective of these exercises is to get us more comfortable with playing phrases that extend over the beat and over the bar line, but also to get us to stop thinking so hard about the counting. We really want to feel the time instead of count it. That being said, counting is an absolutely necessary part of learning these types of exercises, but ultimately we want to wean ourselves off of the counting. Think about bands like Animals as Leaders and Meshuggah or something like Tigran's band. There's no way they're sitting there counting everything beat by beat in their head as they're playing. That's exhausting, and that takes a huge amount of mental bandwidth. In order to perform at the level that these people play at, everything is so deeply internalized. The last thing they're thinking about is probably the numbers. They're focused much more on listening to everything else in the band and making sure that what they're doing fits in properly. But how do you get to that point? These exercises are built primarily on short sticking patterns that are either 3, 5, or 7 strokes long. And we're going to take each of these patterns and we're going to play them at a 16th note rate and a triplet rate. Superimposing these odd-numbered groupings into different rhythmic rates is going to help us more easily play phrases that extend over the beat and the bar line, but it's more importantly going to get us to focus on resolutions, or where two patterns cycle back together again. Having a stronger sense for where patterns resolve or meet up again is really helpful. It kind of helps us think further ahead from where we are playing. To compare things to extreme sports like snowboarding or gymnastics even, if you watch these athletes while they're spinning and flipping and doing all these wild maneuvers in the air, their eyes are almost always trained on where they're gonna land. And we want to do the same thing. We want to spot our landing zone before we actually get to it. First thing we're going to do is take some 3-stroke patterns and force them into a 16th note division. I'll start with single strokes, accenting every 3rd 16th note, and then I'm going to switch the sticking to right, left, left, then I'm going to switch it to right, right, left, and then finally right, left, right. I'll play quarter notes on the bass drum, so we'll kind of hear how the accent phases through each part of the beat. At first, I'll accent on the downbeat, and then 3/16 later would be the of beat 1, and then the accent continuously moves forward by a single 16th note every beat. So we start on the beat, then the accent is on the of the beat, and then it moves to the and of the beat, and finally the e of the beat before lining up on the beat again. Playing through any of these 3-stroke patterns 4 times, as 16th notes will evenly fill the space of 3 beats. When you're practicing these on your own, start by working on each pattern individually as slowly as you need to. There is no such thing as too slow when you're getting these kinds of combinations off the ground. I'm going to demonstrate each of these patterns in a big ol' sequence at 100 beats per minute. Altogether, they sound like this. When you're able to consistently play all of these patterns over quarter notes on the bass drum, we want to reduce the frequency of the bass drum in half. So we'll play the kick every other beat, essentially playing half notes with the bass drum. Now it's going to take twice as long for everything to line up on the beat again. When you've mastered the 3-stroke patterns it is time to move on to the 5-stroke patterns. The longer these small patterns become, the more time it takes before everything resolves again. So with these 5-stroke patterns, it's going to take 5 beats before everything lines up on beat 1. But just like before, we want to see if we can kind of trace how the accent moves throughout each beat. So when we take a 5-stroke pattern and play it in a 16th note division, we're going to see that the accent kind of moves back by 1/16th note every beat. So it starts right on beat 1, and then the accent moves to the E of beat 2, and then the and of beat 3, and then finally the of beat 4, and then it lines back up on a beat again. I'll start with single strokes, accenting every 5th stroke, and then I'm going to change the sticking to right, left, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, left, which is kind of like a backwards, flattened out 5-stroke roll. Then I'm going to play right, left, left, one of my all-time favorite 5-stroke patterns, and then finally right, left, right, left. Over quarter notes on the bass drum, all of those patterns sound like this. When you got things locked in over quarter notes on the kick, reduce the bass drum to half notes. Now it's going to take 2 full measures of 5/4 before everything lines up on beat 1 again. Next, we'll apply some 7-stroke stickings to the same process. Just like before, we want to be able to track the movement of the accent throughout the sequence. In this case, the first accent is on the beat, and then it shifts to the of a beat, and then to the and of a beat, and finally the E of the beat, before lining up on the beat again. The 7-stroke stickings, we're going to start with single strokes, but accenting every 7th stroke. Then I'm going to use sort of inverted and flattened 7-stroke roll, right, left, right, left, left. Then I'm going to use a sort of short, long 7-stroke phrase, right, left, left, left. And finally, we're going to do sort of inverted hybrid paradiddle thing. Right, left, right, left, right, left, left. All as 16th notes in a big sequence over quarter notes on the bass drum. Sounds like this. And then the real challenge, seeing if we can reduce the bass drum to half notes. So it's going to take 2 measures of 7/4 before everything lines up on beat 1 again. That's a big space. Alright, so we covered taking 3, 5, and 7 stroke patterns and superimpose them into 16th notes. But what if we took the 5 and 7 stroke patterns and superimposed them into triplets? These same exact sticking patterns feel completely different when we change the rhythmic rate at which we play them. I'm going to take those same 5-stroke sticking patterns but superimpose them into a triplet division, so each beat is broken into 3 parts. It'll take 3 repetitions of each 5-stroke pattern to evenly fill 5 beats of 8th note triplets. So those same 5-stroke sticking patterns played as triplets over quarter notes on the bass drum sound like this. And just like before, we want to reduce the bass drum to half notes to really test our internal sense of the beat. When we're playing half notes on the bass drum, it's going to take 2 measures of 5/4 before everything lines up again on beat 1. We can apply all of the 7-stroke stickings the same way. I find superimposing a 7-stroke pattern into triplets quite challenging. It's real easy to sort of get lost or turned around and just kind of lose track of where you are. In any case, each of these 7-stroke sticking patterns played as triplets over quarter notes on the bass drum sounds like this. last but not least, we want to be able to play only half notes on the bass drum under each of these sticking patterns. And just like before, it's going to take 2 full measures of 7/4 before everything lines up again on beat 1. If you really put in the effort and keep up practicing this kind of stuff, I really think that your internal sense of the beat is going to improve dramatically. You won't need to rely so much on counting. You'll just have a much stronger sense of where things line up again. It's like spotting your landing from further out. You always want your brain to be moving faster than your hands. And of course, you could apply any other sticking pattern you can think of. You could even try to come up with some larger patterns like 9-stroke or 11 or 13-stroke patterns and run them through the same process. Your time will thank you. If you like what you saw in this video, check out my Patreon page. Your support grants you access to transcriptions for this video, as well as transcriptions for all my other lesson videos. And follow me on Instagram @drummerhar to see more videos of my playing. I also teach private lessons, both in person and remotely, so if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, send me a message and we'll get something set up. As always, thanks for watching and see you next time.